welcome along to part 2 of Everybody Hurts, my fingerstyle instrumental. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start from the beginning of page 2. Once again, if you don't have the tab, then there's a link in the video right now that you can click to go and get the tab completely for free. It just takes a name and an email address. There's also a link in the video description. So I'm going to go from the top of page 2, and this is the chorus. So we've already learnt this in the last video, and then I'll teach you the rest. Rendition there. I was muting a couple of notes, but you get the idea if you're following along with the music. The reason why I was muting, my fingers were slightly collapsed, all right? So keep those fingers locked up, thumb round the neck of round the back of the guitar. Okay, so we're now on the third line of page 2. We're going to make an E minor as normal. So that's second fret on the A and the D, and we're going to be picking thumb, 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 ring, middle, index. You should be used to that pattern by now. And then pinky down on the second fret on the thinnest string like we've done before, pinching top and bottom string, then lift up on the pinky to play an open E, then middle on the open B string, index on the open G string, and then third fret with the pinky on the B, and then open on the B. So a lot of moving around with the pinky here. Then making an A chord, but pinching the A string and the ring finger. There are actually a couple of zeros, but we're going to need that A in a minute. So pinch that, and then I'd like you to strum 6 times on the A with the side of the thumb. So we're going to go 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, and then stop the strings with the palm of your hand. So it goes. Okay. So I'm going to take it back to the beginning of line 3 on page 2. And those of you who are listening, you can hear that I'm getting louder with my A strumming as I'm doing my down strums. That's called crescendo. Okay, so we've got that A. Then third fret on the E on the B string. And then make your D around that. Okay, so index comes down on the second fret and middle finger comes down. Pinching thumb and index, then index, middle, ring, middle, index. Okay? Then D is normal like the intro, then G is normal like the intro. You can always skip back to that. There's a link in the video to get to that video, okay, if you're not on my website where it's already embedded in. And then we've got this little part, little tricky triplet. So we're going to go thumb, thumb on the D, index, and we're going to play the open B string, hit it with our index, and then flick it. I'll do that again. And then we're going to go second fret on the G, then open on the G. I'll do that from there. That's the rhythm. And then make a D. It's a D chord, pinching thumb and index, thumb on the D string, middle, index, ring, middle, index. Then D is normal, thumb, index, middle, ring, middle, index, and then G is normal, then G, and then slightly different rhythm, but it's G, thumb on the thickest string, thumb on the D string, then hammer, open from the B string, hit to the first fret, then open on the B, then second fret on the G, then open on the G. I'll do that bar just by itself. Okay, and now I'm going to go from the strummed A, taking us to the bottom of page 2. Okay, good. Now we're on to page 3. So this is very similar to the first video. So I'm going to kind of very loosely skim over this, but there are a couple of changes. So we're on our D, we're pinching thumb and index, then middle, index, ring, middle, then put the pinky down on the 3rd fret on the thinnest string, pinch those, then 2nd fret, so 2nd fret on the E, then 3rd fret on the B, open, so lift up the middle finger on the E, then middle finger on the 3rd fret on the B. And the rhythm is different there. Then G, thumb, so middle finger on the 3rd fret on the thickest string, pinching thumb and middle, then index, middle, ring, middle, index, thumb, index, middle, ring, middle, index. Just kind of deciding, you know, putting that ring finger down once you've done that open B string. I suppose you could leave it down from beforehand, but I tend not to. Then we do a D as normal, picking down the D. I'm not going to be explaining the fingers anymore because you've done it a few times. Then middle, middle, then pinky down again on that 3rd fret on the thinner string, then reveal to 2nd fret, lifting up the pinky, then lift up the middle, then 3rd fret on the B. So it's very similar to before. Slightly different rhythm. Then middle finger up to the 3rd fret on the thickest string, pinching thumb and middle, picking as normal. And just a little difference at the end of that G. So thumb, index, middle, ring, middle, middle. So that's middle on the open of the B string, then the ring finger's coming down to close it on the 3rd fret. Oops. Then D, pinching thumb and index, middle, index, ring, middle, index, thumb, index, middle, ring. Then 2nd fret, 4th fret on the D like we had before, so I'm going to skim over this. And then this is all the same. And then we're on to E minor for this 2nd chorus, which is on page 3 with the 4th line down. So we're going to play this very more or less identical to the 1st chorus. There's a couple of changes which I'll take you through. So we go thumb on the E, thumb on the A, thumb on the D. Ring, middle, middle. So as long as you're making the E minor, you'll be playing the right strings, the right notes. Then pinky down on the 2nd fret on the thinnest string. So putting that pinky down, pinching, top and bottom string. Then let go with the pinky, then middle finger, then index, then pinky on the 3rd fret on the B string, then let go on the B string. So we've actually already had that. Then we've got an A chord, so we're going to be pinching the A string and the ring finger on the bottom string. And thumb, index, ring, middle, index. Then we've got this thumb, 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 index. Then 2nd fret on the thinnest string with the pinky again. So that is a slight difference. We're going to hold that to the end of the bar. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we're into an E minor again, pinching top and bottom string. Thumb on the A, thumb on the D, ring, middle, index. Pinky again on the 2nd fret on the thinnest string whilst making an E minor. And then lifting it up, middle, index, ring, middle. So we've already done that a few times. A chord, this time pinching thumb on the A string and index finger. Then thumb, index, ring, middle, index, thumb, thumb, index, ring, middle, index. Then we're into an E minor again. Thumb on the E, A, D. We've already done this pattern. Pinky down. So we've already played that. Then A, but pinching the A and the E string. Then strumming the 6 times. And then we're into a part that we've done before. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to backtrack and I'm going to start from the little lead in before the 2nd chorus, then play you the 2nd chorus so you can hear the differences. And then we're into our D, pinching D string and index finger, then index again, just like the beginning of the song. G is normal, like the beginning of the song. Then we've got this. So keep your G held down. The index finger is spare. We're going to pinch top and bottom string of the G. So that's 2 threes. Then lift up with the pinky finger and put the index finger on the 2nd fret on the thinnest string. And then play middle finger, which should still be holding down the 3rd fret. This finger on the B string. Then open on the thinnest string. And then middle finger. Then D, pinching, same pinch we've been doing a lot with D. Then on this next D we go thumb, index, middle, middle, index. And there's a, we're holding that for a beat there. And. Okay, so that's. And then we're going to middle finger to the 3rd fret on thickest string, making a G, pinching thumb and middle finger, index, thumb on the D, and get that ring down to the 3rd fret on the thinnest string, then thumb on the thickest string, index, middle, ring with that ring finger now on the 3rd fret on the B, and then D again, and then we've just done this 2 threes on the D, then we've already done this. Same again. Same again. Then the ending, 3 on the thinnest string, 2nd fret on the thinnest string, open on the thinnest string, the 3rd on the B string. So it's. Then make a D and either pinch or strum the D, G and B string.